Hi everybody, this is it. This is week 10, our last week together. And it's a short week, only 5 days. You have just two assignments. They are a little bit different than maybe what you've gotten used to in the earlier in this course and in other courses. So it's important to pay attention to read the instructions. So first, let's just briefly look at the learning outcomes. So the learning outcomes, you can see them here. They're in our week 10 folder of what you want to achieve from this week. And they all come either from the Peregrine exam or from actually they all come from the Peregrine exam. All right, there are no readings this week. We are done with the textbook. And there are no discussions this week. Our last discussion was what, week 8, I think. So no readings, no discussions. You have two assignments. The first is a reflection paper. So you are reflecting now, not just over this course, but over your whole experience here at Davenport. And you're looking at 5 outcomes. And the instructions list them. You can see them here. Basically, 5 outcomes that we hope that you have gained, have learned through the program. So you want to think about each of these 5, and then you want to write about, for each one of the 5, you want to write about whether you did or did not gain that outcome and an explanation, some specific examples to show it. So for each of those 5 learning outcomes, you want to write a critical reflection of your level of achievement. And there are some questions in the instructions that you don't have to like put the questions in your paper. Those questions can maybe just kind of help to guide you. So here's the key for this paper. Cover each of those 5 exams. Cover each of the 5 outcomes, and for each one, give some specific examples. So, for example, you're writing here about outcome 3, develop business communication based on professional standards. Okay, then so you would put that in there, and then you would write, I was able to learn this outcome, to accomplish this outcome, and an example in this course, I did this assignment, and that helped me to learn how to do this. So for each of the 5, you want to give some examples from courses here at Davenport, ideally from assignments you worked on, or if you feel like you didn't gain that outcome, either because it wasn't addressed well enough in the program or you struggled to learn it. Write that too and give examples. So those are the main thing I see on this paper when people lose points is they only cover 2 or 3 of these outcomes. Cover all 5 and make it clear. I shouldn't have to dig through there to find those outcomes. Make them really clear. And this paper's due day 3. So it's not due the last day. It's due day 3. So after day 3, I do have to count it as late. All right, so that's assignment 1. Assignment 2 is what's called a competency assessment. This is an examination and that is conducted by an outside company called Peregrine. And the reason we do this is the business program here at the college is accredited by a body, an organization called IACBE. And it basically examines us, either accredits the business program or chooses not to, saying we're not meeting the standards. Part of how that works is we want to assess whether you learn certain information, certain ideas across your program here. So this outside company, Peregrine, conducts this exam, and we use those scores as part of our assessment. And okay, so this is going to be, because it's an outside company, this is going to be quite a bit different than other exams you've done here. So there are instruction documents in the week 10 folder for how to do this. You're going to register for the exam through Peregrine. They're going to send you back a link. You're going to click that link and go in and find the right course name and number, and you're going to take the exam. Now, it's a little weird because this is an outside company and lots of colleges use this exam. It's not going to say marketing 441. It's going to say something else, and that's in the instructions. So every term I get a couple questions from students. I don't see marketing 441 in there. No, the name of what you're looking for is in the instructions. So be sure to carefully read those instructions. Okay. So once you get in there and you take the exam, it's 8 sections. 80 total questions, and it covers, not this course, it covers the whole program here at Davenport. So you can't really study for it unless you want to get out all your textbooks and everything you did for the whole program and study that. And I guess you could, but I'm not recommending it. So it's 80 questions, 8 sections, and when you're done, Peregrine is going to email you a certificate of completion that says you did this and here's your score. And that's what I use to determine your score for this exam, because I don't get that. I don't work for Peregrine. So if you don't submit that completion of that certificate, I don't know whether you did it or not. I don't have a score, and unfortunately you get a 0. And that did happen once a couple terms ago, and it did take the student from one grade to a lower grade. So I'm sure you don't want that. So this is due by the last day of our class, which is day 5. And for this, it's just a little, once you get in there and take the exam, it's fine. But just signing up and taking it's a little different. So please carefully read the instructions that are in the week 10 folder. Our course ends on day 5, and I am required to submit final grades to Davenport pretty quickly. Therefore, no late submissions are accepted this week. When the course ends on day 5 at midnight, that's it. It just shuts off, and you won't even be allowed to submit your assignment. So please do yourself a favor and get everything done by day 5, and that will be it. So just 2 assignments this week. It's certainly going to be much easier than the last 2 weeks when you worked on that marketing plan, but these still count, and these are still points that I'm sure you want. So write that reflection paper, take that outside Peregrine exam, and then the course will be over. As always, if you have any questions, please email me or post about it in the help desk. Thanks, everybody. Have a great last week.